Hello there, this is Bic Benedict. We're playing DMC, Devil May Cry, Definitive Edition on Dante Must Die difficulty. And this is my guide for the aforementioned title. We're playing on hardcore difficulty with turbo mode on. And we've got two lesser Stygians here, and we had a butcher, not a butcher, one of the chainsaw wielding enemies. And then this wave here, I think it's a three-wave fight, but it's a fight that is pretty hard, and it's the first fight of the game for this chapter anyway. Let's see what we have. Yeah, we have a couple more Stygians. Like, how many is there? Three elite Stygians. The elite ones are the ones that are blue. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm turning my back to the Dream Runner because I'm trying to deal with these guys as quickly as possible. And I feared that there was going to be a hard fight in this chapter somewhere, and the only one that's somewhat hard, I mean, it's pretty damn hard. It's the one when there's two Drekavacs, which are just essentially Dream Runners in different skins, like light blue skins or dark blue. Can't tell. I love this chapter though. It's mission 13 of 20, and it's a long chapter. It's got a lot of fights, challenging ones too. So this is where the game definitely steps up the difficulty. So this guy is now devil triggered, so we're gonna have to watch out that it doesn't hit us too much anywhere, or we're gonna be dead. And I decided not to use any devil trigger here. I don't believe so, because like I said, I had a feeling that there was gonna be some hard fights coming up, and there are. So make sure that you accrue your devil trigger here and save it up for when you need it. Hopefully you can do this game without using items. Personally, I don't think there are any situations in this game that can't be overcome with what you have, the devil trigger and your skills and your abilities. So let's see if there's another wave here. I believe there is, but it's a simple wave. Yeah, see what happens is, yeah, this is another wave. It's on the same checkpoint here, so you can't die. What happens is I'm on chapter 16 right now, so this is 3 chapters back. But I can remember the struggle because it was just yesterday I did this. So you want to take out all the feral hounds with the shotgun, and then focus on this guy here. He's hard to deal with because he's the same color as the floor, the dance floor. So especially when he's devil triggered, it's hard to see when he's attacking because his arms are sheathed in that glowing, that moving light that's on his body. So safe things to do include using the overdrive and using charge attacks with the Erics. And fortunately he's the only one. I think so far the fights are easier than the vanilla version of this game, so count your blessings even on hardcore mode. So let's see, 3 flying enemies here and a tyrant. So let's see, not too bad. When he's in his rage mode, you can latch onto him with the angel arms, but all that does is pull you over to him. You might be able to do that when he's not enraged too, but you definitely just want to look for the opportunities when you can use the devil arms to drag him down to the floor and do the Trinity Smash on him. So keep him off the camera and just deal with these enemies first. And it's pretty tough. It is. And a part of me would have used items before, many items. So we're going to do this, which is really great to do for an easy kill. And it looks like he's taking a rest down there, so we're going to have to throw some drives his way. And then we have one of these guys here. It's always hard when there's more than one of these guys, but fortunately there's not. The thing is, you have to dodge so frequently when you're dealing with these rage hounds. So some fodder enemies here, along with this main beast here. And I generally kill the easiest enemies first. That's just how I like to do it, and then focused on the hardest one, while keeping the camera off of the one that I'm gonna put my attention to lastly. Yeah, so there is a pair of Drekavacs coming up. There is the same pair of Drekavacs in the next chapter too, and while I did use Devil Trigger on this chapter for them, I didn't on the next chapter. So you see, I guess it's just kind of, if you need it, it just, you know, to finish up the battle, there's nothing wrong with using it. And I personally, I forgot that it filled you up. I didn't think that they would let it fill you up on hardcore mode. So with those introductory waves done, now we can start moving through the dance club. And here, just make sure you're holding the angel arms and the angel arms on the different sections of the floor. And I think this is a timed fight. No, I mentioned this fight earlier in the game. It's interesting how the floor lights shift and you have to use different weapons here. While well, you could just jump over them if you wanted to, but I think on hardcore mode what they should have done is alternate the pattern so that you never really knew what was coming. You know, let it come from the same direction, but just do it in a random pattern. That'd be different, interesting too. So this might be a situation where you might want to adjust your control scheme. I'm personally just not comfortable using the triple angel evade the way it's laid out, because before like I said before, I think a couple times, the secondary evade was R1 plus L2 in the vanilla version, but now since they needed that R1 button for the lock-on, they kind of leave it up to you what you want to do. If you want to have it by default, you'll just have to use the L1 plus the L2 to do the secondary evade. But that's not too bad of a fight. And then we'll just be doing some platforming. I have all the collectibles over here, so I won't be getting any. I won't be wasting your time. We're just gonna do the fights. This was a fun chapter for me. I've always liked this chapter, but it is challenging, I will say that. Okay, so here's the fight where it's sort of like a secret mission where there's some criteria, namely a timer, and you need to take this butcher out in a minute's time. The more you get those demon evades plus the Trinity Smash, you could buffer the Trinity Smash by doing 2 attacks with the Rebellion, and then the final attack with the triangle button, and then he'll do the Trinity Smash. One combo that I think should be a buffering move, but which isn't, is that tornado move with the Aquila. It's L2 plus triangle hold, and the whole time I was doing it, I was trying to charge up a drive, but maybe I was holding the L2 button, but I don't think I was. But I might have been, so I'll retry that. And if I'm wrong about that, I do apologize. But it seems like a perfect kind of buffering move. It seems like it's the equivalent of the drive, or excuse me, yeah, the equivalent of the drive for the Aquila. Okay, so we've got a Tyrant in here, and it's just, I think, another shifting floor. Okay, so there's that little hook icon that I was mentioning before, and I don't use it too much. See, all it does is it hooks you over to the enemy really quickly. And the next couple of chapters are going to be really brief. The next chapter will be just a boss fight that's pretty short, like less than 3 minutes. And then after that, it's a less than 1 minute chapter. Okay, so this over here is the 2 Drekavacs. And see, in the next chapter, it might be, I think it's 2 Dream Runners. So these guys, they just hit harder, I think. But we've got a pack of these feral hounds at first. And it does take 1 shot to kill them when they're not double triggered. However, it doesn't seem like it shoots them all the time. Okay, so you do get it. Okay, this is one of the rooms where you fight the 2 Drekavacs. And I think this enemy's harder than the Drekavacs. Like 2 of these guys, much harder than those guys. It all just depends on your perspective. Someone was just asking me, you know, they're kind of pleading with me to answer what game is harder, Ninja Gaiden 2 on Master Ninja or Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge on Ultimate Ninja. What do you guys think I said was harder? Obviously, you know the answer to that, and the reason is because one game works a lot better and it's easier to use. The other game is a broken piece of shit and it's hard to work with, and thus it's harder. So it doesn't matter which road you take here, both end in the same place. We're gonna have, I think, some Frost Knights up here. Yeah, Frost Knight and a Death Knight. This was the move I was talking about, and one of the reasons you might not be able to buffer the overdrive on that move is because if you stop holding the triangle button, he might not do the move anymore. So I'll just have to try that out on my own time. So I don't know if they give you a checkpoint here. These 2 fights, this one and the one that we just did, might rest on the same checkpoint. So we have, let's see, 2 Frost Knights. The Frost Knights are kind of annoying because they have that shield. And this French opera that I'm listening to should be concluding pretty soon. Looks like, judging by Sean Bianco's tone, it looks like it's over by now. But the number of people that have been asking me to play Bloodborne is it's staggering, and it's really annoying. And I can't blame them, because some people, they just come across these new videos of mine and they want to give me a suggestion, but it's still annoying. Okay, we're gonna stop listening to this because the main opera's done. Now he's just gonna do his shitty little selections, which are nice individually, but the guy talks too much. Okay, so this is the room with the 2 Drekavacs. You gotta remember here that camera manipulation is key. Doing that charged Eric's is very important, and then doing the combos in the air. You could also do the Demon Evade in the air, which will give you the buff. And I was wrong before. When you get the Demon Evade buff, you can't just punch them and break their guard. It doesn't work. So you're gonna have to still charge the attack even if you get the buff. So one of those guys is down. And I think this is a really intimidating enemy, but if you fight him quite a lot, I don't think you're going to fear this enemy that much. A lot of the responsibility rests with you to get that charge in, and some of the times when he's teleporting, like, since you don't know where he's going to come, you can't face the character in any direction. You would just assume that Dante would auto-correct whenever he teleports, but he doesn't. Sometimes you'll get the teleport, and Dante will just do the charge in a completely different direction than the teleport's coming, and that's difficult. So it's kind of a guessing game. It's pretty sad, actually. Also, when you're dancing with one of them in the air, doing combos, the other one can do a teleport, a horizontal teleport in the air, and hit you. You can also, when they're not devil triggered, you can attempt to grab them. What I was doing in my other guide was waiting. Since they teleported so frequently, you would just wait until they teleported, do the demon evade if you could off their teleport, grab them, and then smash them, and then combo them. But we're coming up on a divinity statue here, and what happened here, I do have to apologize. I lost all the traversing footage, but this is the final little gauntlet, and it's pretty tough. So I lost the footage. I don't even think I was recording. So one good tip on these rages is to wait until they attack, parry their attack, and then they will get subdued. They will keel over and sort of have those shafts of light coming out of them that I mentioned in chapter 2. And then do the uppercut, launch them, combo them, and come down on them with the helm splitter, helm breaker. And that's a great way to deal with these guys. And if you don't want to get up close to them, especially if you're almost dead, throw the overdrive at them. It's very good. And it's just a hard, see, they're not solid, so you can't, like, some of their features aren't sharply defined, so it's kind of difficult. Like this guy now, he's fine. It's just when they're ethereal. Like now, see the difference? It's hard to see what he's doing, but definitely use your devil trigger here, because A, you won't get it on the next chapter right away until you start accruing it, and B, you really won't even need it. It's a simple encounter, much easier than the succubus boss fight. Okay, so we're getting frozen a little bit. We're not going to let that deter us too much. And I hope this chapter doesn't give you too many problems. It's just a matter of, I say this a lot, but just, if you don't need to use resources like the devil trigger, do not use it. You shouldn't just frivolously use it. I know I hate to sound like somebody's nagging at people, but I'm just saying, don't do it.